from. The truth is an irony, just like animal farm. Justice mean inequity, so who go say the truth? Who go say the truth? Christian can say silence, Islamic leaders silence, kings and queens silence, traditional leaders silence. So who go say the truth? We are the workers of comfort call. Now by area, why no better? We are the workers of comfort call. One guy's out here, why no better? Who go say the truth? Who go say the truth? Oh, he need it now, see what I see so. Now your friend, and I ain't come at them. Only baby, Obeka, nice and yeah. So I want to bet you too. Everybody was afraid. And when you nan to my cottage again, once my boy dumping one and I cheat. But who go tell the truth? Nanai or say me. Nan so be am person be can want because everybody is afraid. Anya safwe muayini. Aku draw for you na darling ma. And who go say the truth? Obiaja konson so to grow your man sa to me bia ka kobrafo. Efo anyina ye. Efo wanyina ye. Na so ko trata down na so bi dia ba ko why no keke. Afene fo be man mo pia fo efo e. Ne cross on my mo. Anya safwe mo ayini. Akuku drop for you na darling ma. And who go say the truth? Abaya di bote chino. Yedi bi bebo nyande bi. Kachi sa udi oma upipi numa. Would your mind never shine my frafonsa? But who go tell the truth? TUC, silence, even journalists, silence. Oh, then who go say the truth? Right is right, wrong is wrong, no matter how you justify. You say you wanna get rid of corruption, someone want to help you. Now the person become your target. Jobless no they mean senseless. Poverty no they mean useless. One day them go resist.
Truth and justice, one day they will resist. That is a beautiful song, and that welcomes you into our special edition of Ghana Decides. A very good evening to you all, and thank you for joining us. We're coming to you live on today's Ghana News TV, and my name is Jerome Pan, your usual host. Gladly, we are coming to you equally live on Switch by satellite and on all our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, all on the name Today Ghana News TV. We are equally live in Ghana on Hind FM 98.7, the bright light of Easton, and on King's Radio in Accra. King's Radio can be found on TuneIn or myradio.com. Equally, wherever you are, you can follow us on Twitter as well as TikTok and as podcast on Anchor FM. Our feed is equally carried by Sakina Information Center in Tatale in the Northern region, and also Jaframa TV in Rawra in the Oti region. A very good evening once again, and I welcome you to this special edition of Ghana Decides. 32 years of democracy, 9 elections, what is at stake? Today, we want to assess the message of the National Democratic Congress, their chances, and what is in vogue for election 2024. Stay tuned. When I come back, I would introduce to you my distinguished members of a panel that will do justice in assessing the NDC's message and their chances in election 2024. Once again, you are welcome and stay tuned.
Yamamu Ajo Esan Emamu Akaba Edubanu Kerme Di Edi Antonia Kipa Ifa Ania de Nukrenum Atubibia Ewose Edda.
Tune in on today's Ghana News TV on our usual socio-political show, Mind View.
Jumedi and Today Ghana News TV so on Today Ghana News TV we are live on YouTube.
Nyame ase and then so I ready person in we share Today Ghana News TV kasafidie so.
Today Ghana News TV, we are the masters of the game.
Well, if you have just joined us, this is your first time, we'll encourage you to subscribe to our link and share the link as well so that many more others will have access to join this evening's discussion of Ghana Decides. This evening, I have a very distinguished panel that will be assessing the chances, the message and the chances of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, in 2024 elections. First, I want to welcome on the show Dr. Lawrence Osei-Appiah of the Diaspora Progressive Movement and a member of the National Democratic Congress Communication Team of the United States of America. Also, we have Mr. Frederick Kofi Kwache, the National Democratic Congress Communication Team member of France. Then we have Mr. Charles Mensah, also a NDC Communication Team member, Hamburg, Germany. We're still hoping that a colleague from Ghana would join us, but until then, as we progress, we will again take. Oh, Mr. Agogo has joined us. He's a political activist and he's right on the ground in Ghana. And as we progress, today the special voting is taking place in the eastern region, and we will get into one of the polling stations to check any updates, any development, and any points of concern. Until then, I welcome all of you to this evening's program. Dr. Lawrence, it's been a while. I hope everything is fine.
Yeah, everything is fine. Everything. The important thing is that I'm alive and healthy. That is all that we need now.
Great. Mr. Charles Mensah, how is the life in Hamburg? How are you preparing NDC Hamburg and election 2024?
Thank you very much and good evening to your listeners. To sum up in a brief, I would say Hamburg NDC is fully prepared to see the incoming President John Dramani Mahama sworn into office as President of the Republic in the year 2025. So, in summation, I would say that we are prepared and we are hoping to see that President John Dramani Mahama assume office as President of the Republic of Ghana come 7 January 2025.
Wonderful. Correct. Sorry, Mr. Agweko, you are a political activist. I don't know where you stand, but how is the general atmosphere in Ghana in terms of election 2024?
Well, what I can say is that glory be to God. We are close to the day, which is God willing Saturday coming. And looking at the nooks and crannies, one can predict that it's possible to go for His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, looking at
Hey,
the
it is
dynamics of
possible.
Ghanaian politics. Highly possible, not the other way possible. Not the jargon possible, but the
Okay,
analytical possibility that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama will be crowned president come January 7th, 2025.
wonderful. Whew. Political activist, will take your word that everything is possible on the ground. Let me now start with Dr. Lawrence. We want to assess the message of the NDC going to election 2024. But there has been a question that is always running across all the divides, be it social media, the mainstream, or whatever it is. People are asking the question, why is President John Dramani Mahama trying to come back as president of Ghana?
Well, again, like you introduced me, I have always been Dr. Lawrence, founder of the Diasporan Progressive Movement and a member of the NDC USA team. I am an accountant and a writer. I write a lot. I mean, I take writing as my hobby. And let me take this opportunity to, even though the NDC's last rally hasn't ended yet, but let me take this opportunity to give them an advanced congratulations. I know and I hope that it will end well. It will end well, just as Saturday will end well. Now, you asking me why John Dramani Mahama is coming back. I mean, the simple answer is that he's coming to recover all the loot, create loot and share of the Nana Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia's administration. And in that regard, he's coming to reset the country. In fact, he's coming to give Ghana a second independence. The country is so messed up that people in the NPP still think that Ghanaians are fools, so they will just go and vote for them. But you see, when you continue to think that the people are fools, when they get wise, you will not know. I mean, it happened to the NDC in 2016, and before we knew that Ghanaians had become,
That's a warning.
before we knew that Ghanaians had become wise, we were in opposition. And that's exactly what is happening. That is exactly what will happen to the MPP on Saturday. They have always taken Ghanaians to be fools. And once Ghanaians become wise, they will not know. And on Saturday, they would, let them know that they have become wiser. So the bottom line is President John Dramani Mahama is coming to collect all the great loot and share of the Nana Akufo-Addo Bawumia administration. He is coming to reset the country, and he's coming to give Ghana a second independence. Thank you.
Wow. Ghana a second independence. We look forward to it. We'll see how it ends by the close of Saturday, Sunday. By Monday, something good will be on the ground. Mr. Mensah, how do you assess the chances of the NDC vis-a-vis your manifesto?
Okay, thank you very much once again. And To begin my submission, I will use the opportunity to wish all NDC members well in the coming election, especially His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, as well as all the 276 parliamentary candidates who are also contesting for various parliamentary seats across the country. I wish them well, the best of luck in the 7th December general polls, particularly on Saturday. As an NDC member and also as a researcher, the kind of work that we have done and the kind of research that we have conducted clearly shows that the NDC is in a pole position to winning this general election and also going to have a clear majority in parliament. We are looking about 150 minimum as members of parliament belonging to the NDC, so that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, after winning the general election, will have a clear majority in parliament to execute his agenda of resetting Ghana, his agenda of making sure that Ghana returns to the path of growth, his agenda of ensuring that jobs are provided to the teeming unemployed youth who are more or less have become hopeless in their own country and seeking for hope in the diaspora. But with the coming on board of His Excellency John Dramani Mohammed's 24-hour economy, hope will be returned to the unemployed youth of the country. So, in summing up what the chances of NDC are, I would say it is very, very positive, and nobody born of human can thwart the efforts of NDC winning the 2024 general election. So we are on course. The party machinery has put in place the necessary mechanism to ensure that we secure free and fair election process and also secure a clear victory for His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Nobody should have the fear of NDC not being able to police the ballot. Let me use the medium or this opportunity to ensure all persons, including NDC voters who have decided to vote for the NDC this time around, that their ballot will be protected and nothing will be countenance to undermine their sovereign will of voting for His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
Wonderful. Dr. Lawrence, going into 2024, what are the parameters that you think that the Ghanaian will consider which the NDC has a superior, what will I say, a superior outcome than the New Patriotic Party?
I mean, it looks as if we are the group of three. No, the G3. We are the G3 here today. I mean, we have the US, we have the Germany, and I think we have the France or other strong country. So we are the G3 today. Ghana News has G3, and I don't know whether it's because you've seen me for a long time. That's why you are pushing me with all the difficult questions. But I am always ready for everything. So if you ask me what are the parameters, or what is the parameter in which the Ghanaian voter is going to look to vote on Saturday, I will tell you it is the economy, it is the economy, and it is the economy. You see, I don't know if President Kufuor was the one who started it, but he was the one who said it into the Ghanaian politics, and we always quote him that when you are going for elections or when you are going to vote, look at your situation, look at your pocket, and based on what is in your pocket, you just go and vote. And Otumfuo also told, Otumfuo Osei-Tutu II also told Nana Akufo-Addo that in 2016, Ghanaians used their anger and hunger to vote out President John Dramani Mahama. And if he doesn't do his homework well, Ghanaians are going to use hunger and anger to vote the party out. And so, and it was all about, or it was all, whatever Kufuor said and whatever Otunfo said to the second said are all based on the economy. I mean, most people don't vote on anything else except the economy. And you and I know that the Ghanaian economy is stupid. The Ghanaian economy, as we are speaking now, is stupid. So if the Ghanaian economy is stupid and you think you can use any other form like digitalization or anything to vote, that's your problem. And it is the MPP who are trying to shift, and Dr. Baumia, they are trying to shift the parameter, like you said, from the economy to digitalization. But on Saturday, this is what I'm saying. I mean, if you think the people are always fools, and for that matter, you can always take them to be fools. When they become wise, you will not know. And the day that they will show you that they are wise, it will be too late. So they are talking about digitalization, but the Ghanaian voter, I believe, is talking about the economy or is considering the economy. And now that you and I know that the Ghanaian economy is stupid, I mean, there is no way. There is no way. That's why I agree with Charles that there is no way that the what do you call it? The coming of the NDC can be stopped in any way. It can't. I mean, the change that is coming is strong, and no force can be against it.
Wow. Takwache, let me bring you in here. Dr. Lawrence is saying that the change that is coming, no amount of force can stop it. Do you share the same view?
Of course, yes. And then let me say, I would like to apologize for maybe the small technical hint at my end. I think I was having some small challenges with my
No
internet.
problem.
So, Doctor, I'm greeting you. It has been a while. And then
Yeah.
I'm greeting my good friend too. I think this is the first time we are also meeting. For me, like the way my co-panelists have already stated, from where I'm sitting, the change is more than a storm coming, but we need to do a lot, even though these people are poised to maintain power. So we are wrestling the power from them. Therefore, we need to do a lot. Looking at it, we are rest assured that we are going to win this election. There's no doubt about that. Every indication shows that this election, Ghana is winning, not necessarily NDC, because it's more or less like a second revolution. Ghanaians have suffered for the past 8 years, and they really need this change. And these people, looking at what they have put in place, what they are doing, it really tells you that they have shit in their pants and they don't want to get up for us to see what is there. So they are also doing everything possible. It's not about maybe convincing the masses because they don't have any policy to tell the people. They don't have any message to give them. The only thing they are trying to do is to manage the election. And that is what Ghanaians are going to resist come Saturday. So asking me, I would say NDC is more than prepared and we have done enough work. In fact, I recommend the hierarchy for the good work they have done so far. And I think every individual has also done his part. And the power need to come to NDC, whatever be the case. Because it is like I quote Canadian Japan, the power don't need us. We don't need the power. It is the power that rather need us. Change rather wants to itself to change because we are fed up with this canker. It is too much of a burden, and Ghanaians are yearning for a change.
You are saying you are too much of a burden, the canker. What canker are you talking about here?
I'm talking about family and friends, government, corruption, lack of democracy. Like I will borrow a senior man word when he used some time ago that our democracy has been bastardized. And as we speak now, like I said, because they knew what they have done, if we check from judiciary to the electoral commission to everywhere, they have just destroyed the democracy. That is why the man Mahama said we need to reset this country, because I think one of the former presidents of United States told us that before a nation can stand on its grounds in terms of democracy, we have to allow our systems to work. And now Nanado have just polarized all the systems. Look at recent happenings in the parliament and the judiciary. You could clearly see that things are not just working.
Okay. Okay.
And the so-called lawyer who has not been able to produce a certificate as at now. And this is what we have left for us.
Okay.
I heard Martin Pegu saying that if John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency, who is not a lawyer and has performed like this, who doesn't have any economic background like Baumia claimed to be, and was able to perform like this, then when you put the two together, you see, I started saying this thing some time ago. Maybe one of my shows, if you go back, you will check. I told them that when MPP were going for their primaries, I said the 10 of them, if they put all of them, their heads together, and compared to John Dramani Mahama, they can't match him. The 10 candidates who contested for the flag bearership of NPP, if all of them heads were put together, they can still match His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
Wow.
If you check the records and you compare, it is obvious. So putting an economist and a lawyer together in the realms of affairs, and they have performed woefully like this, then, like President Japan said, change rather needs us.
Change rather needs us. Yeah.
A
And
lot
let's
of
see
things are
if they change will have an impact on us. Let me bring in Mr. Abeko here. You are a political activist and you are on the ground. You in your opening statement, you said everything boils down or everything points that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and the NDC will win the elections. What are the indicators that has informed this statement?
I think what Ghanaians going to the polls are looking for could be coined in four areas or four thematic areas, which is one, economic performance. And the economic performance has to do with cost of living, unemployment, and the debt ratio in the country now. Realize that currently, when you talk of cost of living, one cannot use high cost of living again. I think the best word to be used in the country now is like making reference to inflational usage. That is, our cost of living in the country now is galloping. It looks like if we are to compare to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama's 4 years, that is 2012 to 2016, you see that the cost of living, if it were to be a hill, currently is now like Kilimanjaro, if not any other mountain. So Ghanaians are now feeling the heat under this government, and the high cost of living as it stands now, or let me say, the highest cost of living with respect to history, of Ghana is what is going to influence the decision of the voters. Interestingly, with reference to the special voting Monday and today, you notice that people are forced to take money to vote. But at the end of the day, if you engage those forced to take money to vote, you still realize that they took the money and voted against the money. So it's no more about how much you are giving me today, but it is about how much do I go to the market. Because what is being given today is just today. But how they have been experiencing the market has been consistent. And it has been dying. It's very, excuse my word, crazy in the country. So people are no more considering what you are giving them now or the rhetorics of politics, but they are considering the reality, which has to do with cost of living. Now, when we come to employment, we all know what is happening in the country. Even those who were lied on promise to go and campaign for 4 more for Nana, today their own debt could be higher than the haircut given to the pensioners. So they themselves have seen that the MPP government is nothing less than a scam. They use your mind to achieve their aim, forget about you, and then when it's getting to election, think they can con you back to themselves. So Ghanaians have realized all this. They've noticed they are more of a jargon than reality. They've compared the two. And if you ask me about the two, I think John Mahama, who was purported to be devil, is today more of an angel, and in fact could be akin to Jesus Christ, than Nanadu and his Baumia, who were seen to be Messiah, economic whiskey, but only economic wick with a kid, but not a whiskey.
Wow.
So the dynamics indicates that the promises of yesterday were just political gimmick that were used for political purposes. But many have noticed that from 2012, or let me say from 1992 coming, our politics were not as promising and failure as it has been. So the idea of keeping the lines and the purported fake rhetorics is now fading out, and the reality of the economy being the cost of living, the employment, and the debt is what people are factoring to go into the voting come Saturday, 7th December. Now, when it comes to debt, now our debt is hipping around 720 million Ghana cedi or more. The question thereof is, what could you use to confirm that upon all the borrowing and all the debt heaped on generations to come, at least we have this physical project to attest to the fact? Look, Nanado promised Agenda 111 years back, not less than a year. But the fact that he's commissioning just 4 of them recently is a clear indication that Nanado cares nothing about the development of Ghana, but the next election is anything of his interest. And this, when you go to the street, are what people are talking about. So the debt has nothing to show for, but a game of trying to woo people's mind. And then people have now realized that what you are doing with respect to the debt that we own has nothing to prove that you are capable of doing anything. And unemployment on the youth, the high cost of living on the adult and the youth is now making, even if you come to Ghana now, I think people within 30 coming are now all growing gray hair. Not because they fancy gray hair, but it's because they are now thinking more than the brain can do for them. And that is what the youth are now going into this election assessing. I would have wished the sharing of food from Ayawaso West Wogon by the Honorable Lydia Alhassa should even tell Ghanaians that MPP is losing the election. In fact, they've lost the election.
But did you actually see her sharing food? Because she has come to grant an interview that she was not even at the place.
Yeah, what she said confirms the complete lies of Dr. Baumia and the MPP from my analytical point of view. Because I don't think with the development of AI, we have AI that can share food in the name of a person and it's complete video. You understand? She was
Yeah.
not there. It was maybe her grandmother's picture that the AI developed with her image attached to the grandmother's movement and the grandmother's distribution of the food with her aide close to her. She was not there, but was the aide too there? You see, this kind of political games are no more working in Ghana. You were seen, you were videoed, and you still deny. That shows why Baumia can still go to Cape Coast to campaign. Because the harbor he promised them has not come. You understand? Baumia could come to Volta region where the Keta port, people are paid for the administration of Keta port, the manager, the general manager, minister, everything, everybody is paid on the grounds of the Keta port. Yet the port is there with two containers, one on top of the other. You understand? But he can still come to Keta and campaign. It's a clear indication that the MPP under Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and Dr. Baumia being the head of the economic management team, they failed Ghanaians. And like I said, the economic performance being the cost of living, unemployment, and the debt stability is what Ghanaians are going to look into going into the election. Let me say one thing. The debt, as we talk of, is not a debt that came by the Ghanaian populace, but it is an intentional debt created by former finance minister Ken Ofori-Atta and Nana Addo Dankwa. When you look at the debt with respect to the haircut issue in Ghana, you akin it to the this guy Nam1 issue, and you realize that the formula used by Nam1 is the same formula implemented by Ken Ofori-Atta. So I normally say that it could either be that Nam1 trained Ken Ofori-Atta or Ken Ofori-Atta trained Nam1 and has used the same system to come and scam Ghanaians. Where in the history of Ghana has the aged been treated unfairly like this government? And Bawumia cannot run away from it because he is the head of the economic management team. Remember when he was adoring the economic management team, how he touted them, Dr. Jambafo. So Ghanaians in the street are saying all this. You see, most of the words I use now are not my own words, but they are borrowed words that my engagement with the people on the street are using. If it were my words, maybe I could have used higher grammar, but I'm choosing their own words that they give to me, looking at the situation they find themselves in Ghana. So if you
Wonderful.
talk of how the people are going to vote, these are the fundamentals and other matters that they are going to use to vote, not
But
the monies that
briefly,
are given.
briefly before I let you off the hook, you talked about the amount of money that they have borrowed, and they keep telling us that they have much of that went into the free senior high school. That is what we have experienced, and that is what Ghanaians are enjoying now. It's not a good move.
Yeah, a very good move in the sense that the free senior high school that students were served with expired food. If we can borrow such much and feed it to children to eat expired food, parents are now coerced, if not begged, by heads of senior high schools to support them with tables and chairs. Children sleeping in dining halls. Is that the quality of education we want? Is it the education that
Hold your
children
breath.
vacate?
Hold your breath.
Let me land with this. Is it the education that children vacate on 28th October and resume on the 30th of October to be jumped to the next class? Education is now no more in the system in Ghana. We are only counting heads for political score, but not educating our children for tomorrow. And the challenge we are facing in the country Ghana is that this flamboyant caliber of education introduced by Nanado with a traffic system attached to it is going to cost Ghana 10 years to come, because we are going to produce quack nurses, quack doctors, quack engineers, quack persons in every sphere of our economic development. And Ghana is going to lose massively. So the poison of Nanado, Danko Ekufuado, and Baumia is not only a poison of today, not only like the Galamsey threat in the country, but is going to be a concurrent poison in the area of our economic sectors 10, 15 years to come.
Wonderful. Dr. Lawrence, as we will go down and take a message from the polling station in Sawam. But before we go down there, I wanted to think about this, Dr. Lawrence. Comrade Agbeko talked about this free senior high thing and all the other things that have come up. And that is what the MPP is also singing all over. Incidentally, the NDC has also promised free first year university education. I want to think about it. Has the NDC been admiring the free bits of the MPP? Is that why you are bringing that? We will come back to it. Think about it. And,
you want me to think about it?
Yeah, I want us. That's the question. That's the question.
You are scared of my answer. That's why you want me to think about it.
I just want, I want you to focus, and when we come back, you will give me the answer to it. And probably, Mr. Mensa, I'll be coming to you to look at the standoff between the parliamentary, our judiciary, and the legislature, and how good it is. Ghana has been 32 years of democracy, and then 9 elections. Is it the way forward? Now, wherever you are, we want to get to the grounds at in Sawam, where there is a special voting taking place. There are some concerns that have come up, and we want to find out if it is peaceful or it needs other interventions. So we'll take a commercial break, and when we come back, I'll bring our speaker on.
Na entro na die omumubi adintro ese your mama turn to my pot into na your mama boy dey yen turn to my pot bia gapo ha shareholder e water my pot dum menum ka say sika gapo ha anya every new tamapot no ebro $200 million omo share omo chiama omo na munim bebia say sika ni bia ba gapo ha the sika ni be more than $80 million e dia babu ankra ha aye di sese bu ankra anka me ton tamapot anka gapo ha nyesika enti sa ni o mane de eye ade a menim se de wo mo ana se omo ko university atro university and mkosua ya enso dinyi na eye nkontompo ezo eza
So wherever you are, this is Ghana Decides on today's Ghana News TV. As I rightly indicated, there is a special voting today taking place in the Eastern region, and we want to touch base with the special polling station in Sawam, where we happen to have Ambassador Zita, who is there and on the ground and want to share a bit of some information with us. Honorable Ambassador Zita, good evening.
Good evening, my brother. How are you?
Fine, thank you. And how are you too?
I'm doing well.
Hey, I don't want to believe that you are acting as polling agent for NDC.
I am a polling agent.
Wow, that NDC really means business. We wish you very well.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. So, from the special vote in the Eastern region, do you have any stories to share with us?
Well, to start with, when voting started, the MP came and then came to sit right behind well, not behind, in the middle between the two tents.
Yeah.
The A and B.
B.
So in between the two tents, there's like a center aisle there.
Yeah.
He put a chair with the MC, and they both sat there facing the voters.
Okay.
So I called one of the easy officials, and I asked him if that was allowed, if he was allowed to sit there, because I think it's inappropriate. Mm-hmm. He's allowed to be in the pool station, anywhere in the polling station, but not within the perimeters of voting. And so that is the reason why he has two agents there, so that those agents will take care of his interest. Yeah. So he has an agent, and then he himself and the MC, who was neither a candidate nor an agent, were all sitting there. So when I spoke to the guy, the EC official, he said, okay, I would speak to my superiors and let you know. They went, they called the police, they had a meeting, and they called the MP. The MP told them point blank that he's not living there. So later they came to tell me that the MP doesn't want to move. So I told the police officer or the EC official that, look, you have to let the police enforce it so that he moves from there, because it's wrong. But it looks like the police officer was afraid of him. So they left him sitting there. So eventually I also instructed our candidate to go and sit there by him, because if he can sit there, our candidate can also sit there. So that was the first issue we had to deal with. So right from there, it looks like they were not happy with me. They were upset with me for trying to insist that their MP should move from there. And then later on, I moved to another place. I was sitting there, and right before my eyes, I turned around and I saw these prison officers. After they had finished voting, they had come. There was a vehicle by me. Yeah. So they were standing behind the vehicle, and there was a lady in pink who was giving them mumu. So after you finish voting, then you come to the lady. The lady will take your number. I don't know whether they took pictures of their votes before coming for the money. Wow. But obviously there was something going on. So I looked and I started videoing them secretly. And then, so they would take it and then leave. The memo transfer would be made. I hear it was about 400 Ghana cedis. And so I decided that, listen, if officers in uniform, they were in uniform, they were not even in mufti, in uniform, who are supposed to guard this electoral process, are taking bribe from one of the candidates, then we are all not safe. Yeah. So I decided to openly let them see that I'm recording them. So I walked up to them with my camera in hand, and they panicked. So when they saw me, not knowing the MPP, I hear the guy who tried to attack me is the MC for Isawam. His name is Smart or something. Okay. And then their national, their constituency organizer, one appear something. So they all pounced, got up, and they were very angry. And they were all shouting, you this woman, you this woman, you this woman, so they started coming at me. And I told them, well, I haven't done anything. What are you doing that you think you should attack me? What were you doing wrong? If you haven't done anything wrong, why are you bothered that I was recording you? So the scaffold went on. They came to where we were, the NDC were sitting. But I have to, congratulate the NDC security. Okay. They were really on top. They didn't allow them to get close to me at all. They formed a blockade. and they prevented and they met them boot for boot.
Wonderful.
And the scuffle went on for maybe 10 to 15 minutes because they were very upset. And even after that, every time they were passing and they would see me, they would insult me. But I didn't really care.
Yeah.
I didn't really care because if you are doing the wrong thing, it's the wrong thing. My interest, because whether we like it or not, they were giving out the money.
Yeah.
They can give out money, but if as a security officer, you don't see anything wrong with it and you are taking it, then my interest is to video you, to show you to the whole world. So my interest at that point was to show the people, those corrupt, useless officers in uniform who were taking those monies. And I have done that. I have posted them. And I have no regrets about it. Everybody needs to see their faces. Everybody needs to know that they are corrupt and they are bad people. They don't deserve to be in the uniform that they are in. They deserve to be part of the inmates in Isawam prison.
That's true. That's true. But Ambassador Zita, there is a point of concern for me. If the police were unable to move the member of parliament from that place, which means that they are sort of scared of the authority that he holds, then going into this election, it raises a lot of concern, security concerns.
Oh yes, they were trying their weight about there. I won't lie to you. Even their constituency organizer thought that he was superior human being. You know, they were and the MCE was the one dishing out the money. The NADMO coordinator, Smart, he was also part of it. You know, so they were all there. They were bullying everybody, throwing their weight. The police were afraid of them. The national security were there. BNA were there. There was nothing they could do. Even when they came to attack us, where I was sitting, where they pounced on us to attack us, we had about 2 police women sitting by me. They couldn't do anything. They were just watching on. So obviously they are just there as cosmetic, and this must, protect itself going forward.
Well.
And after that incident, what they did was that they moved the money sharing from inside and they went outside. So they were standing outside, and when people were coming in, they would tell them that when you finish, you can come for the money. So one of them had like a bag full of money, and the other lady was the one. So if you have Momo, they'll give you the Momo. If you don't have Momo, then they'll give you cash.
Wow. So
they moved the money sharing outside. Because I had tried to video them, and they were outside sharing the money the whole time.
Well,
what amazes me is that these old men and women in uniform who were taking these monies. Come on, it's our money, it's our taxes. Where did these people get the money from? That today they can dish out 400 to 1,000 people. Where did they get the money from? It's our own money meant for development. This person is an MP in Isawam. He's meant to develop Isawam for you. Yet he hasn't done it. And he has, at the end of 4 years, he has brought a bag and he's giving you 400. Are you that stupid? Are you that cheap?
And you collect the 400, vote for him, he disappears, you go back to your state.
And then suffer for another 4 years.
I don't know, but Ambassador Sita, we pray that, but I hope at the end of it all, the election ended peacefully, no further disturbances.
Oh, no. I mean, it was peaceful after that. They realized that we were not into play. So after that, they moved. You cannot come and share money in my face like that. It's disrespectful to me because you are breaking the law. The police were sitting there, they were sharing the money. They were not saying anything. So if I don't raise an objection, who's going to raise an objection? I have to raise an objection that what you're doing is wrong. And like I said, my interest was to expose the officers involved.
Okay. All right. Then we'll say thank you very much for your time. And what words do you have for the people up there and going into election 2024?
Well, out on Saturday, go out there and go and vote. As for the money, they will try and share it. But don't let the money control you. Because if you take 400 cedis for that day, and then you let it control you and go and vote for them, for the next 4 years, you are going to suffer. So let your conscience guide you and do the right thing. If you're hungry and you want to take the money, it's our money, you can take it. But don't let them force you to go and vote for them, bring a picture and they collect money. If they had done the right thing, if this MPP government for the past 8 years have done the right thing, they wouldn't be sharing money. It would be their projects that would speaking for them. It will be your own livelihood that will speak for them that, oh, I'm doing well, so I don't even need 400 cities. But they've staffed you to the extent that 400 cities means so much. So 400 cities is not even up to $50. No. Yet you are selling your conscience for 400 cities. It's a shame. It's a shame. So let your conscience, if you are going out to vote on Saturday, let your conscience do the speaking. You are all church goers. Remember God and do the right thing.
Okay. We are very grateful, Ambassador Zita Benson, for this update, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Wonderful. So that has been on the ground report from Nsawam, where the special voting has taken place today. And we are very grateful that Ambassador Zita, who happened to be a polling agent of NDC, so it tells you how the NDC is taking this election 2024 at a very high level. But we pray that at the end of it all, Ghana will be peaceful and we will move forward with our democracy. So I will get back into the studios. As before we brought her in, I was asking Dr. Lawrence if the NDC has been admiring the free bits of the MPP, side that you are also coming to give us free first year university education.
Yeah, Jerome, I will answer that, but let me touch on a couple of things that has happened before I came in. You know, when Ambassador Zita was talking about this monies that are being shared, you see, I am a very strong advocate of, or against, I am a very strong advocate of against this preaching of when they bring the money, take it, but vote against them. I am seriously against that. And I haven't written any article on that yet because of one or two reasons. But I am of the view that if you don't want to vote for them, don't take their money. And it doesn't matter whether it is our money and so you take it or what. Master, money has influence. Money has influence. The very time you take it, you are influenced. And it becomes very difficult to vote. I mean, sometimes your conscience might not even tell you to vote against somebody you have taken money from. And I remember there was an incident, I think in 2020 or thereabout. An MP sent a truck full of rice to a constituency. And they rejected, the youth in that constituency rejected the rice. And the rice were packed back into the into the truck. And they told the MP that we need jobs, we don't need rice. And again, I remember this guy, the executive secretary to the presidency,
Nana Bediatuo.
Bediatuo once loaded a truck full of sheep to a chief's house, and the chief rejected the sheep or rejected the offer because they told Bediatuo that my youth wants job. They don't want sheep. I mean, if you give me all the sheep and I share it for them, maybe one family will get one sheep. But then at the end of the day, what happens? They come back jobless. So my argument has been that the preaching should be, if you don't want their money, I mean, if you don't want to vote for them, don't take their money. Let them know that they are rejected. Let them know. And one of the advocates that I would do when President Mahama becomes president is that I would want him to stop this kind of voting, buying and stuff like that. I would want him to get one lawyer specifically at the Department of Justice and a court specifically for that purpose. That is the only way we can stop this thing, Jerome. This is the only way. We have to begin to seriously prosecute these people who do that. NDC will be in power in 2025, and they might be tempted to do that. When they do that, they should also be prosecuted. Because it's about time we make democracy fair in our country. And I'll be very happy if President Mahama would do that. And I believe that is the only way that we can stop this vote buying. Because if you preach that the person should take the money and vote against them, money has influence. Once it takes 400, once it takes 500 CDs, it becomes difficult to vote against the person. Sometimes,
Dr. Lawrence, but they say charity begins at home. Even the primaries of the NDC saw money sharing. So do you intend starting within the NDC before going out to the entire country?
Massa, the bottom line is we stop it in the country. Whether we have to stop it in the NDC, whether we have to stop it in the NPP, whether we have to stop it somewhere, this thing must be stopped in the country. If we know that is not good, we are building a country. We are coming to reset the country. All these form part of the resetting of the country because it has been a problem with us. And we always come every election year, we come and tell the people, take the money, but vote against them, take the money. And at the end of the day, they take the money and they vote for them. So what have we been doing? You see, it was only as in Asin North where some youth collected their money and voted against them. But that was one out of how many thousands? One out of how many thousands? So
I quite agree with you because when they put the money that leads, it means that the good people who have what it takes to help develop the country and they do not have money will never have the opportunity to put their expertise at the disposal of the country.
Exactly.
That's the greatest disadvantage that we are having here.
Yeah. So, for me, I think there should be one lawyer and one court when President Mahama comes, and all that the two of them will do is to fight this vote buying during elections. Now, my friend Agbeko was also saying that some expired rice were shared to the prisoner. You see, the MPP has come out to defend this. And of course, anything they do that is bad, they will defend it. And strangely, it was the chief of staff who defended this. But the whole thing is, I'm putting it on record, the whole thing is they ordered this rice, came to the harbor, stayed in the harbor for a very long time without being cleared. And then when they cleared it, the rice has expired. And they still didn't want to dispose of those rice. So what they did was that they repacked the rice. They took the rice from the original sacks or containers which have the expiration date and put them in another container and gave it a new expiration date. So this is what happened in the nutshell. So whatever the MPP comes to tell you about this expired rice, my panelists are here. Just let them know that the thing was expired in the original container and repacked into a new container, and then a new expiration date was stamped on them, and then that is how the children got the expired date. Expired food.
But even Dr. Lawrence, it's very strange. If it is expired, it's expired. Because we are hearing from some courtesies, the Food and Drugs Board and whatever it is that they were to test to see if they can extend. This is something that I don't know. The normal human being is talking about it without giving a thought. It's expired. How do you extend the expiring date?
Jerome, I told you that the MPP sees Ghanaians as fools. So that is how they think or take Ghanaians for. That let us just extend the expiration date. They are fools, so they won't see it. Do you see? And this is what I said at my initial discussion. once the fool become wise, you will not know that the fool has become wise until during elections time they show you that they have become wise. And by the time you see that they have become wise, it will be too late. You can't do anything about it. Now, let me go to the question. You see, of the free, because of free senior education, Mahama is also promising free first year university, what do you call it, payment.
Yeah.
The free senior higher education, it is a good policy. Even it is enshrined in our constitution. So that is a good thing. Do you understand? But the implementation of it has been the problem. And this is why President Mahama and the NDC, we have said that when we come back, when we come to power, we are going to make sure that we review everything from point A to point Z. In Ghana, they call it Z, but in the US, we call it Z. We review the process from point A to point Z. And I have said it on several platforms that the MPP is afraid that when we come and review the free senior education, it will be so much better that they will even be, they will feel shy to claim that Nana Akufo-Addo free senior education. That is their fear. Because we are going to review it, model it in such a way that you can't even see that these children are enjoying free education, but you can't even see it because everything will be so nice, everything will be so perfect. And I'm sure Ghanaians of this, that we are going to review the free senior education, we are going to cancel the double tracking, we are going to cancel the way they get their food from the, what do you call it, what do you call it? Something board. We are going to cancel all that. Yeah, wherever they get it from. Those we are going to cancel because those are the problems with the free education. So if NDC and John Mahama are coming up with a free first year tuition free for the university, that is also not a good, not a bad policy. It will depend on how we would implement it. And we have stated that there will be funds set aside for that purpose. You remember when Nana Akufo-Addo went to London and he was asked about how he's going to fund free senior education, and then he was talking about costing. So you could see right there that he didn't have any idea how he was even going to fund the free senior education, and that has brought us this far. That is what has brought us all these problems this far. But President Mahama has or is going to set aside funds for the purpose of that. And then after the first year, the second year, it's in our manifesto that there will be that scholarship or something fund, that student trust fund, correct? Student trust fund where you can tap into that to get a loan for your second, third, and maybe fourth year or 4 years. Do you understand? Yeah. So this is a well-thought plan. It is not because it is free, or it is not because free senior education, the people of Ghana has bought into it, and that is why President Mahama is also offering a free first year education at the universities. It's because the free higher education is good. We are going to keep it. We are going to maintain it, but we are going to cancel the double track. We are going to cancel how they get their food. We are going to cancel so many things out of it and make it so better that the MPP cannot even say anymore that they brought free education. And the universities, we have already thought through it. We are going to set funds aside for the purpose. We are not going to do costing, or we are not going to say costing just because we don't even know how we are going to fund it. This fund is already there, and we are going to make sure that we implement it to the benefit of all first-year students. Thank you.
Lawrence, before I let you go off, one concern is that your party, the NDC, criticized the implementation of the free senior high school. You said it should not have been a blanket implementation. It should have been selective because some parents are capable of paying the fees. Now you are coming with a first year fees and it's also a blanket implementation. So where lies the justification here?
No, you see, the free senior higher education, we, the NDC, were implementing it already. We
Yeah.
started with the day schools, and then we started with some selected students. And that is the wisdom we had, and that is the wisdom we thought the MPP was also going to do. You understand?
Yeah.
Now, they didn't have classroom blocks. They didn't have the facilities, including the science lab and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And they just rushed everybody through it. So right there, you could see that there was a problem. So, like I said, the free senior education policy is a good thing, but the implementation. So, if we are able to implement, the free first year's education thing for the college for the universities, is not because everybody is going to school for free. We free high school. That's why we are also pushing that. It's because we have thought through it, and we know that. You see, if you, Jerome, if you qualify to go to university, you have qualified.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And if 10 people qualifies, or averagely, if 10 people qualifies to the university, let's say it.
Okay.
If 10 people have been qualifying to the university every year, we know that 10 people in 2025, 2026, 10, 11 people or 9 people averagely will qualify.
Yeah.
So we have already budgeted for that. But the free senior higher education, it was 10 people who were qualifying and going to senior school. Do you understand? And then because of the free senior education, now it's about 1,000 people qualifying. And then there are no rooms, there are no facilities, there are no beds, there's no money, there's no food. But because they have qualified, 1,000 people have qualified, they have to be, they have to go. So that is the difference. With this university thing, we are not going to have free whatever, because everybody, will go. But it is people who qualify. At the university, you and I know that it is not everybody who is from the free senior high will qualify to the university.
Yeah.
So it is those who qualify. And if you qualify, if you make your grade and you qualify, you go. We are not going to say because it is free, everybody should go, like they did for the free senior high. We are not going to do that. We have estimated how many people qualifies every year averagely, so we can be able to determine the cost of it. The free senior education didn't have the cost because everybody was allowed to go. And even some of them, because they wanted to go, the government wanted them to go, they lowered the standards. And because they lowered the standards, everybody was pushed through, just because they want to make political capital out of it. We are not going to do that. We will put we will put the country first.
Well, we'll come back hopefully after December 7, when the NDC is in power, or January 7, and then we'll review how things would be. Mr. Mensah, I was coming to you before Ambassador Zita came. We are looking at the standoff between the legislature and then the judiciary. 32 years of democracy, 9 elections. Should we not be seen as performing better than this standoff?
Okay, thank you very much. To begin my submission, I can hear some feedback. Hello?
There might be from your side.
Yes, as I was saying, that after listening to the other panelists, I would say that they have done a yeoman's job to the topic or the questions that you've asked them. And for that matter, I will not have anything to add to their submission. But coming back to your question, 32 years of the Fourth Republic, I would say, has been the most thriving democracy or constitutional rule Ghana has ever experienced since independence in 1957. And for that matter, I have grouped my submission under three thematic areas where we can look at the good, you can look at the bad, and you can look at the ugly aspect of our 32-year journey into the Fourth Republic. Now, what are some of the good things that we have chopped as a country since the inception of the Fourth Republic in 1992? The good thing is that ever since Chama Rawlings of blessed memory introduced the Fourth Republic through the 1992 Constitution, he won general election to become the first democratic and civilian government in 1992, transitioned for the second tenure in 1996 through to 2000. And through to that period, we had a peaceful and a stable transfer of political power from one political party to a different political party without any hindrance to our quest for democracy. So on that score, I would say that Ghana has had a good news in the Fourth Republic, and most pundits admit that the Fourth Republic has been the most sustaining republic so far we have had as a country. We have also, as a country, during this Fourth Republic, the good aspect is that we have also had some progressive projects that, in my view, are contributing to the sustenance and development of the country as a whole. Some of the progressive projects include the recent partnership with the private sector to have the Tema port developed. Some of the projects include the T3. These are all progressive projects. We can also talk about the Atuabo gas project. I'm limiting myself to these tangible ones, although we have some intangible projects that are also contributing to the success and development of the country. But I'm just limiting myself to these ones for listeners to know that all these projects augment our quest for development. And for that matter, any government who seeks to implement such projects should be supported and given the necessary support or the necessary environment to have these projects seen the day of light. I can also talk about the fact that we have had political stability in the Fourth Republic, and as a result of that, investors see Ghana as a place where they can invest their monies so that they will have good returns. Unlike countries where there is no political stability, investors find such areas or such countries as no investment area, and they don't strive to invest in such countries. We have also, as a country, have a system whereby under the Fourth Republic we have had political and tribal as well as religious coexistence. So you will find a Muslim and a Christian living in the same community without any hitches. You will find an Ewe and a Gan man living in the same community without any hinges. These are some of the positive or the good aspect of the Fourth Republic that we should all be trumpeting so that more of these will come on stream. Good governance, yes, we can also talk about good governance where the judiciary is performing its duties, the executive is also performing its duty, the parliament is also performing its duty. Until recently, where Nanado came in, tried to meddle in this institution, but ultimately, or on a larger scale, I would say that we have had good governance. The rule of law has worked. A typical example is where the Muntie 3 people were jailed. The law specifies that if a court jails somebody, the president has the power to grant amnesty under our constitution or under our laws, and these laws were allowed to be operationalized. So the court did its work. The presidency was also called upon to grant amnesty, looking at the offense involved and the punishment meted out to these young ones. So, by and large, you can say that the rule of law has applied. Now, let's look at some of the bad aspects of the Fourth Republic. I have enumerated some points as under this Fourth Republic, the issue of fake news has become rife, and people are churning out fake news to the extent that in some countries, fake news contributed or led to instability in their country. So, as a country, we need to discourage ourselves from engaging in spreading fake news. Just recently, I heard an audio, and in that audio, which is purported to be coming from His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, urging that Ghanaians have short memories and that Ashantis are dishonest people, something like that. Although the content is not something that I can repeat on this platform, but some of these statements or this news put out there has the potential of causing misunderstanding between two factions, where in this case the NDC faction and that of the Ashanti people faction. So if we encourage this news to be put out there, the potential of this news to cause mayhem is very, very high, and we should all rise and fight against the spread of fake news. Uncompleted project is one of the points that I listed under the bad aspect of the Fourth Republic, where one government will come into office, start projects, the government will leave office, another government will take over, and by virtue of the new government not being the initiator of this project, will decide that, hey, I did not start this project, and for that matter, I'm not going to continue. I will leave these projects to their fate. It should be discouraged in the sense that whoever started the project started it with the taxpayers' money or borrowed funds, which at the end of the day, Ghana as a nation will be the one to pay for these loans. We can also have retrogressive policies, and retrogressive policies I can cite one as the president trying as much as possible to interfere in independent institutions. For example, has to do with the president asking the auditor general to proceed on leave, where the law says that the president does not have the power to do so, but the president did that. It is a bad precedent that we should all discourage people from engaging in. Then we can also talk about family and friends governance system, which is very, very bad. It does not augur well for national development. Chronism, it does not augur well for national development. So these are some of the bad aspects of our quest for a sustainable democracy under the Fourth Republic dispensation. Now let's look at the ugly aspect, which you and I will not be proud of as a country. Over the years, corruption has eaten into the fabric of every aspect of our society. Even the church, which is supposed to be the moral voice of society, they are also engaging in corrupt activities. They are also engaging in bribery activities. These are activities that do not augur well for national development. And for that matter, we need to speak against it going forward if only we want the Fourth Republic to be sustained. We also look at death during our election period. So this time around, I'm just hoping that nobody will lose his or her life in this election that we are going to have on Saturday, because democracy is all about divergent views. Tell me what you believe in. Let me also tell you what I believe in. At the end of the day, we sample these views and see which one has the propensity of developing Ghana faster that we want Ghana to be. Then we all sign on to that view. But if we are engaging in a situation whereby your view does not tally with my view, and for that matter, you see me as an enemy, and you can go to the extent of killing me, then this attitude should not be tolerated and should not be countenanced in our body politics. We should speak against thuggery in our body politics. We should speak against assault in our body politics. The kind of insult that people rain on political leaders and political figures should also be discouraged, because the fact that you do not share the same political ideology with me does not make me an imbecile or somebody with no brains. You should respect one another, and by doing that, you have a cool and peaceful coexistence, which will, at the end of the day, prepare national development, because a peaceful nation can have the sound environment to develop its natural resources and human resources and other resources that the country can boast of. So, in summation, I would say that our quest for the Fourth Republic to be sustained has been good, and we can do better. There is more room for improvement, and I'll call on all and sundry to speak against the ills of society, so that Ghana will be a better place to be, because in as much as I do not subscribe to certain policies, I also do not want the Fourth Republic to be truncated. And as a result of that, I always encourage people to, exercise restraint, because we have a way of changing government peacefully, and our development will be on course.
Wonderful. You actually touched on issues of corruption and uncompleted projects and all that. We bring in Mr. Agbeko here. You are saying that the NDC is in the cold state of winning the election. These are issues of projects, uncompleted projects. The NDC has promised that when they come, they will not start new projects. They will continue with the old ones, execute all of them before they even think of any other thing. But they are still making promises. What should we expect from the NDC next administration? Should you assure Ghanaians?
Um, Thank you very much. Let me start from this way. I think our Fourth Republic would have been better off if not for certain challenges and certain individuals that were given some opportunities to lead the country. We noticed that His Excellency, late former President Jerry John Rawlings, did well in the transition of Ghana from military regime to democracy, which to me, I don't subscribe to 100%, because democracy should have come in line with certain institutions in place. And the institutions being in place included the freedom of the judiciary, the freedom of the legislature, and the freedom of the security forces. They should have had their own freedom and independence, working functionally and capable in serving the state before we should have gone into the democratic dispensation that we are in. And if you consider Nanado's regime, you come to understand why my view. Because if the judiciary were to be independent as an organ functioning to the interest of Ghana, Richard, 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 Jakpa's case would have ended the term of the Attorney General. And that would have be a great yardstick for subsequent attorney generals to be appointed. If the institutions were to function, the security body were to function as a state institution, not, if I'm to borrow Kwesi Nyantechi's word, an institution in the pocket of the president, the case of Ayawaso West Wagon would have seen some security personnel being behind bars and others wouldn't have been in a queue receiving food and monies. If Parliament should have functioned as an institution, part of the arms of government to make laws for the country, there wouldn't have been a case whereby the military would be opened to Parliament, which to me is an act of coup d'etat.
Mm-hmm.
So all those institutions in the line of reaching a peak or a point for the democracy to be actualized, we mistakenly brought a wrong leader who has exposed greatly the lapses of those institutions. It didn't start in this Fourth Republic alone. Those who are versed with our history, I think Dr. Lawrence will be there, will remember Apollo 568, when Dr. Buzia, in his authority, terminated a contract of some civil servants. They went to court and were given justice, but he stood to tell the court that no court could coerce him to do what he is not willing to do as a president. The modern way in such authoritative and tyranny in terms of leadership is what Nana Addo is doing. He will not wait for the court to rule against him, but he will work behind doors for the court to rule in his favor. A test case is the case of the birth certificate being a primary source of document, that we had a judiciary that could say no to that, but rather accept Ghana card born from the birth certificate to be a primary source of document. I think when you measure such rulings with logic, you will be tempted to say that there are people who read books but lacks logic and are in the helms of affairs. And that jeopardizes my point of saying that the institutions that should govern the democracy we all aspire for are not functioning as institutions. And for that matter, they can take decisions that even a primary one child can question those decisions. Again, when we look at the issue of election, you also realize that the institution put in place to even govern the event leading to the democracy itself has been exposed by Nana Addo's mismanagement. Who can measure our democracy today, the integrity and the credibility of the Electoral Commission as necessitated by Dr. Afarijan and Madam Charlotte Osei, to be same as is being done by Jim Mensah today? Do you think should Jim Mensah be the first electoral commissioner, we would have reached this peak of respect and credibility at the international level by our electoral commission? So when I hear people saying that the electoral commission has done it before and it will do it this time around, I ask myself, do they understand what they are saying? And the question is no. The Electoral Commission under Dr. Afarijan is not the same Electoral Commission today. The Electoral
Oh, wow. I think we have a technical
Commission
hitch.
under Madame Charlotte Osei is not is being manipulated by the executive arm of the government, or because the Electoral Commission today know nothing about the work of our Electoral Commission. Let us not go deep into the appointment of personalities in the Electoral Commission, but let us look at the outcome after the appointment of those individuals. Madam J. Mensah is somebody that lacks board mass, simple board mass. And her challenge with numerics create a doubt of her personality as a lawyer. Because we all know to qualify to be a lawyer, you should be a great person in mathematics. If not the highest form of mathematics, at least you should be seen to know much about mathematics for social scientists and statistics for social scientists. And no one can claim to know statistics for social scientists when the person cannot fathom simple addition. So the mere fact that 2020 election had more than 4 results to declare a winner shouldn't have let J. Mensah still continue with her work. And we are now seeing the outcome of some of the things that the NDC spoke against and the MPP with J. Mensah seem not to have adhered to. The issue of recalling ballot papers for serial numbers and others, I see it as just a fake news. The challenge has to do with what was identified by the NDC. But they can't come out to tell the public that, oh, as a result of what Dr. Omane Boama and co said yesterday, these are some of the challenges we are facing. And for that matter, they should look for alternative words to qualify their shame.
But
And for that matter,
wait. Did the NDC come out with what they have detected?
NDC came out with discrepancies that has to do with the voter register.
Okay.
And a lot with the voter register, when they call for the voter statistics before the printing of the ballot papers, the EC did not accept. And without the voter statistics, you either underprint or you overprint.
Overprint, yeah.
Because you can't tell me I use a percentage. The percentage is on what?
On what?
It's on a principal value before you work a percentage to add up to. So if we don't know the principal value, you either underprint or you overprint.
That's true.
So the issue of serial numbers being the challenge is not neither here or there. So the EC is telling us that they can't configure serial numbers for voter register or for ballot papers, but they can conduct election. And why is it that they can configure correct serial numbers for Ashanti region, which has the highest voter population, but has errors in the the ballot paper serial numbers for voter region? I mean, the logic does not tally.
That's true.
You understand?
That's true.
You can't tell me there are challenges in Eastern region for special voting and Western region for special voting, but there is not an iota of challenge in Ashanti region. None in Greater Accra. So is it that the EC has challenged with lower figures, or their challenge has to do with non-performance? So
Well,
Ghana's democracy, 32 years in the Fourth Republic, would have been beautiful if not some element in our leadership. I've been saying this, that Ghana is suffering today with respect to high cost of living, not only from Mills Mahama Akufo-Addo, but also from Kufuor's decision, which has to do with the redenomination. The redenomination,
Mr. Agbeko,
yes,
if
sir.
you're going to read the nomination, I know we're going to take a much longer period of time. Kindly take a break and let me read the messages from our followers, and then when we come back, we'll take the last few minutes to share our views, and then we call it a day. It's been a wonderful show. Ghana Decides coming to you live on today's Ghana News TV, and our followers are here with us. We want to take their messages. Um, Nana Tafremu says, greetings from Tatali, Northern Ghana and Sakina Information Center listeners. We are grateful, Nana. Kempem says, watching from Paris, France. We are grateful, Bob. Um, Lady Mal, peaceful election is what we pray for. Watching from St. Petersburg, Russia. I hope my producer is getting the rest up. Yeah, I've just taken Lady Mal's on peaceful election is what we pray for. Watching from St. Petersburg, Russia. Sakwa family, watching from Jumapo near Koforidua, Mahama for president. Yeah, we have a Kwesi in Sia. He says, true talk, Dr. Lawrence, we are wild awake, watching from Anglo Town in Koforidua. Mavis says, watching with a family from Lisbon, Portugal. Mavis, we're grateful. NDC Diaspora Union. It's my hope that NDC does the right thing with logistics and human mobilization. Greetings from Amsterdam, Holland. We're grateful. Asempa Hene says, good evening, watching and listening from Achem Himan. Asempa, we are grateful that you are part of the show. Jaframa TV, greetings from Ravra in the Oti region. Thanks for carrying our feet. AK says, freedom is coming tomorrow. Watching you live from Germany, DE. AK, wonderful name. We're grateful. Kokuyevu says, I love the show. Watching from Suhum in the Eastern region. Frimpong, oh, great. Watching from Akuse near Somonya. Frimpong, we are grateful. Fans TV, watching from Aflao, Volta region. We are grateful that you are joining us by YouTube. Jacob Blessing, great NDC for Ghana, won. Great NDC Great NDC for Ghana won 7th December 2024. Mama Afa, election 7th December 2024. Amen. Wonderful. Mama Afa. Okay. So these are the few pieces that we can contain for now. So we come back into the studio, then I'll find out from Dr. Lawrence if there seems to be a source of concern about the Electoral Commission saying that on election day, if you do not have your voter's ID card, still go there, mention your name. I don't know if there are other parameters that are going to be used, or else should this not be a sign, a source of concern? Because if I know that my dad has passed on, but his name is in the register, I can just walk in there and mention that name. They have to look for it and then allow me to go through.
Well, to be honest with you, I seriously don't know what this Electoral Commission is all about. You know, it's about mistakes upon mistakes upon mistakes, and then issuing directives upon directives when you could see that they don't really know what they are doing. But on the issue of if you don't have your Ghana card, you can go there and vote. And then the example that you came up with, that if you know your father is dead, you can go mention his name and then vote. I think that would not work to the best of my ability, because at least you be thumbprinted. If you have unless maybe you didn't register. Okay, let me put it this way: you didn't register, and for that matter, you cannot vote. Do you see? And that is the concern. If you didn't register, and for that matter, you cannot vote, but then you know somebody who is dead, and the person is maybe of your age, and the person and the person that you don't have the person's Ghana card, obviously, because the person is already dead. You can go there and cast your vote. But here is the case too that I would entreat the party representatives over there to make sure that some of these things are taken care of. I mean, in a community, unless maybe in Accra or in the bigger communities, but in the villages, everybody knows who is who and who is dead and who just arrived into the city and all that. So your example you gave, that somebody who is dead, I mean, somebody can take somebody who is dead's name and then go and register. I think that can only happen if the person didn't register. Of course, if the person didn't register, it means he or she cannot vote. So then he can use somebody's information to go and vote. He doesn't, or she doesn't need a Ghana card. And that too, and then number two, that cannot happen if the representatives of the parties are vigilant. And NDC, we have always preached vigilance. We expect our party, representatives, to be very vigilant on some of these things. I'm happy that you brought it up, because we might not even have an idea that such a thing can happen, especially in Accra, in Kumasi, in Takoradi, and in the bigger towns. We might not even think about it, that somebody can just go in, mention a schoolmate or a classmate's name, and then be made to vote. But then, if you also do that, what is your motivation? Why are you going to do that, unless maybe you are giving some money to go and vote for somebody? I mean, if you are not giving any money to go and vote for somebody, or you really want that party to win, I mean, your party, you really want your party to win, that is where you can risk going there to vote, even though the person you are going to use, his name is dead and you also didn't register. And of course, because it's a big place, like Ayawaso Wagon and stuff, nobody knows where anybody lives. So you can just walk in there, mention the person's name, and then vote. So it's a concern. But to be honest with you, apart from what I have said, that the solution is all about vigilance. And then number two, I don't see why you should be motivated to go and take that risk, knowing how red people's eyes are. You couldn't register, you don't have your name in there, you don't have any information in there. Why would you risk going to vote for somebody who is dead? So,
Dr. Lawrence, I have to cut you short here.
Okay.
Our time is fast running. Let me just take your passing words to people going to the polls on the 7th of December for elections 2024. I know definitely as NDC, you are going to call for them to vote for NDC. So the ball is in your court.
That I should say what I would do for the people down there in Ghana. Is that a question?
No, they are going to polls on the 7th.
Yes.
I know you want to appeal to people to vote for your NDC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, fellow Ghanaians, now I'm a president, so I should I should address people. Fellow Ghanaians, you see, we are going to elect a president and parliamentarians in Ghana on the 7th of December 2024, which is just 2 days away, which is Saturday. This election is not an ordinary election, just like all other elections we've had so far. This election is about accountability. This election is about justice. So what I would tell you is that go and vote for the NDC, go and vote for John Mahama, because you want the government of Nana Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia to account to you. At least, if I don't know at all, I know that when the COVID money came, you had 1 million cedis in it, that they should have given it to you. 1 million cedis. They should have given it to you to start whatever you wanted to start with. But somebody stole it from you. Now you want that person to be accountable to you. So do the best that you can to go and vote on 7th December. So the one who stole your 1 million cedis of the COVID money would account to you. And like I said again, this election is about resetting the country. As a matter of fact, one of my panelists just said how the Nana Akufo-Addo administration has destroyed the institutions in Ghana. The parliament is gone. I mean, it's gone in such a way that now they can do whatever they want and not even care about who the speaker is.
You have to wind up. My producer is calling.
Next time, give us more time. Okay,
That's true.
So, I mean, the election one is about accountability. The election is about resetting the country to make sure the institutions that we have are, as a matter of fact, working. And then finally, you are going to vote so that Ghana will have a second independence. Ghana now is messed up economically, spiritually, whatever. Ghana is messed up. We need to make sure that we get the second independence. And we can only get it when you go and vote on December 7, 2024. Thank you very, very much.
Wonderful. Second independence in the way on the way coming. And we have Mr. Agbeko just drew attention that even if you go to mention your name, the picture will expose you. And someone also stated that there will be biometric machine, the biometric verification machine could also expose you. So those are other chances. My honorable political activist, we are going to elections 7th December 2024. In a minute, what do you have to tell the youth of Ghana?
I'm not only talking to the youth, but I'm also talking to the entire Ghanaian populace. I'm entreating every Ghanaian to vote by analyzing and assessing their economic situation. If I'm right to quote, former President John Kufuor said, "Shawasitinem netuabapa." So don't go and vote on the basis of any, but please, Shawasitinem netuabapa. Ghana needs quality leadership. Ghana needs the best. Every Ghanaian is entitled to the resources of Ghana. The resources of Ghana is not for a particular family and a particular group of friends. It's for everyone. Let's look for the party that serve the interests of the masses as against the party that pick individuals to enrich them and they think they are doing something. What your children and children's children will benefit, like hospitals, schools, roads, and others. It is of paramount importance to you than 200 or 400 cedis that will be given to you to enslave you for 4 years.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Comrade Charles Mensah, I think he's also available. And then we'll find out his
I think
last words to the end.
in summing up, I would say that voting is a civic right, and I'll urge all eligible voters to exercise this critical right of theirs to ensure that they elect leaders who have the experience, leaders who have the know-how, and leaders who have the expertise to man the affairs of Ghana going forward, so that the kind of development that you and I are yearning for, they will bring on board. And for that matter, I will recommend to every voter that on Saturday, December 7th, they should vote for the experienced hand, the incorruptible John Dramani Mahama, as well as the credible vice presidential candidate of the NDC, Professor Nana Jirupoko Ajiman, so that they can come into office and steer the affairs of the country to the path of progress and the kind of development that we are all yearning for. So I'll also urge them that they should be peaceful, they should conduct themselves in a more peaceful manner, and ensure that every ballot is well protected and every ballot is what it should be at the end of the day, so that Ghana will be victorious after 7th December.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mensah. Is Mr. Kwache available? And then, in the absence of Mr. Kwache, it has been a wonderful show. Ghana Decides, coming to you live on today's Ghana News TV. And you've been listening to and watching Dr. Lawrence Appiah Osei, that is the NDC communication team member of the United States of America and the founder of the Progressive Movement, Diaspora Progressive Movement. We have had Mr. Frederick Kofi Kwache, an NDC communication team member of France, Mr. Charles Mensah, NDC communication team member, Hamburg, Germany. It's been a great pleasure coming your way until we come your way again tomorrow. And Mr. Kofi Agweko, a political activist right on the grounds. And he'll be joining us again on Saturday, God willing, so that we can look at the election results and all that. And until we come your way tomorrow with another edition, this is today's Ghana News TV saying good night and thanks very much.
I was going to ask for one more word.
One more word?
Yeah. I was going to say that change is coming on December 7th. And so go and vote to be part of that change. So by the 10th, 11th of December, you'll be proud of yourself. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Change is coming. Be part of that change. And somebody has also told me that they want to be part of the change, history making in Hohoi constituency. So if you are part of it, kudos to all of you. And thank you very much for your time. Wonderful. It has been wonderful having all of you gentlemen on the show. Till we come your way again tomorrow in the evening. This is Jerome on behalf of Today Ghana News TV crew saying good night and God bless us all.
The country where I come from, the truth is an irony. Just like animal farm, justice mean inequity. So who go say the truth? Who go say the truth? Christian can say silence.